Hi Team USA, my name is Ross Hartley, and I'm your head coach for the 2019 ITU World Championships for both the draft legal sprint and standard distances. Today, I'm going to be walking you through my preferred goal setting template, which includes goals, targets, and outcomes. So what does this framework look like? I believe in setting 3 types of desired results: goals, targets, and outcomes. Goals are items that are completely under your control. Your main focus should be on these. When we talk about goals, we need to make sure that we are talking about SMART goals, or SMART, which stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So some examples. I'm going to follow my fueling plan leading up to and during the World Championships. I'm going to get 8 hours of sleep each night leading up to the World Championships. I'm going to do 10 group bike rides leading up to the World Championships. Or I will roll out my muscles and or stretch at least 3 days a week leading up to the World Championships. These examples represent things that are always under your control and should be the main focus. Targets. Targets are items that you have a little bit less control over, but are directly related to your training and therefore can be predicted very closely. Targets are accomplished as a result of you accomplishing your goals. Pace and time goals are good examples of these. So some examples. I'm going to average 250 watts in the first triathlon of 2019. I'm going to swim a 1,500 meter open water swim in under 25 minutes in 2019. Or I will average 6 30-minute miles during the run portion at the World Championships. And finally, outcomes. Outcomes are items that you have the least control over and are actually an outcome of your goals and targets. Outcomes come as a result of you accomplishing your goals and targets. Qualification and place goals are good examples of these. So some examples. I'm going to qualify for the 2020 ITU World Championships by finishing in the top 10 of my age group at the 2019 USAT Age Group National Championships. Or I'm going to finish in the top half of my age group at the 2019 World Championships. Accomplishing goals will lead to accomplishing targets, which will lead to accomplishing outcomes. Your main focus is on the goals, which are things that you can always control. As Stephen Covey famously said, you have to begin with the end in mind. Your future first begins as a narrative that your brain tells you. The more clarity you have with this end desired state, the better plan you can make to achieve this. The more clarity with the required steps, the more likely they will be achieved. The journey to being better than yesterday requires you to know and continually revisit your why of doing whatever it is that you are doing. This why will be the fuel for you to execute the actions that your dream state demands. Your focus in the moment is connected to your end vision. The clearer your vision for the future, the easier it is to focus on what is currently required of you. Having a purpose encompasses a lot. A purpose for the interval, purpose for the workout, a purpose for your goals, even a purpose for your life. In sport, it boils down to being both physically and mentally present at training and racing. Have a purpose both in your training and for your training. I have included an example of my own personal goals, targets, and outcomes from last season's duathlon nationals. Feel free to use this as a guide. Once you have completed this goal setting template, I would absolutely love to read these, and I have included directions below on how to share this with me. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, or if I can be of any help in any way, please don't hesitate to reach out. Happy training.